But then menopause happened.
Right. It's a spare tire, and could not exercise it away. It just would not go away, no matter what I did. And then you just resign yourself to the fact that, well, I guess this is what they're talking about. This is it.
Yeah.
Menopause, all downhill. Get the moo-moos, the caftans, and forget about ever buttoning a pair of pants again.
Hello my honeys, it's Emmie. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmie. I'm a nutritionist and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where you work with me as well as a mindset coach and a nutrition coach to lose weight on a plant-based diet. And everybody's favorite guest is back on the channel today. It is Healthy Mummy. So today we're going to be talking about Healthy Mummy's journey. If you haven't seen the whole Healthy Mummy series, here is how you find it on my channel. So go and watch it. And now we're going to talk about the February 2022 update on how things are going. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is something that I've been talking about recently with my clients is called the stages of change. Are you familiar with this?
Sort of, I suppose. So
the stages of change, a lot of people think that when you're making a change, you go from the old you to the new you, and that's that. It's a black and white switch. One day you're one person, the next day you're a new person. But actually, when you decide to make a change, there's 6 stages that people generally go through, and you go through the stages over and over again, and it's an upward spiral. So the stages are pre-contemplation, contemplation, determination, action, relapse, maintenance. And you'll go through those stages over and over in an upward spiral. And as you go on in your journey, the relapses become shorter and shorter and less intense, and the time in maintenance becomes longer.
I like that.
So the reason I bring it up, I've been talking about it with my clients, but also I think a lot of people see your journey on the channel and they say, oh, it was so easy for her, it was one and done. But really it's been quite a journey to get you to where you are in maintenance, and you've been in maintenance for quite a while, but there have been relapses, and so I wanted to talk about all of that, if that's okay with you.
Great.
Okay, can we bring it back to the 60s?
Oh, we're going way back.
Okay. Just to give background, what was your diet like as a kid?
Really, when I look back at it, it could be like a sitcom. It was the standard American diet. Cereals, sugary cereals in the morning, cold cuts for lunch, meat and potatoes and a veg for dinner, on repeat. Pretty exactly what you would think if you watched any 60s TV show.
And I remember you saying that sometimes you would have cereal because it would remind you of those days.
Yeah, for sure.
Or a Fresca because it would taste like 1965.
74.
1974. Recognizing the emotional ties that some of us have with food. And why are we eating this food? Is it because we need nourishment, or is it because there's some deeper emotion that we're going for? Did you have any knowledge of nutrition at that point growing up?
None. It was mostly hunger and regimented times. Eat what's put in front of you until the next meal.
And the Clean Plate Club?
100%. Always.
Tell me about your introduction when you got your card to the Clean Plate Club. What that meant to you.
That I had made my parents happy, and they worked hard and made this meal for me, and I ate it. And then we could go outside and play.
And a lot of people hold that card in their back pocket for their whole life.
Really?
Yeah, and they said I was a member of the Clean Plate Club for my whole childhood. And so I encourage people to revoke that membership and give that card back. And now let's focus on hunger fullness cues, because eating doesn't make me proud when you finish your plate. Fast forward to when you were a mom of the 3 of us.
Yep.
What was the diet looking like then?
It was an extension of what I knew. When you were little, I tried to avoid, we were all breastfed, and then I tried to avoid any kind of prepared baby foods. I made my own, froze it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I know.
Martha Stewart.
And then as you got older, it was just a repeat of what Dad, Tim, and I had as kids.
I did not know that you made your own food for us.
Yeah.
How did you have the capacity to do that?
That's called nap time. So you got a lot done during nap time.
When you were working nights at the hospital, why wasn't that
your
night nap time?
I worked nights on Friday night and Saturday night, and Dad was home Saturdays and Sundays. And then I was back on it Monday, back on the mom train Monday.
Got it. We were pretty middle of the road. We weren't unhealthy people, but we weren't super health conscious people, just eating normal foods.
Right. There really wasn't super health conscious at the time. There were some people I remember who had sort of timeshares on, there was some in the background, it was background noise that I didn't pay much attention to because I thought I was doing the right thing.
Any struggles with weight from childhood to pregnancies?
Weight was not an issue growing up. For me, Weight Watchers, things like that seem to be an older, maybe my mother's generation. It was never part of my world. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
When I got to college, I probably put on weight from all the drinking and, pizza and inactivity. But I'm tall, so I was able to wear it well. And with pregnancies, I put on a ton. These guys were all big.
But then menopause happened.
Right.
How old were you when this started to happen and the weight started to come on?
I'm going to guess over 50, maybe 45, the 50s definitely.
What an interesting experience for you, for somebody who for 50 years, 5 decades, the weight was never
really had to give it a thought. And then it was there, as we've talked about a million times, the spare tire, and could not exercise it away. It just would not go away no matter what I did.
And she tried these shakes.
Yeah, I did that for a while. It was disgusting. I'm like, what am I doing? And then you just resign yourself to the fact that, well, I guess this is what they're talking about. This is it.
Yeah.
Menopause, all downhill. Get the moo-moos, the caftans, and forget about ever buttoning a pair of pants again.
And I can understand why older generations would think that, because there wasn't much knowledge about nutrition. Information wasn't as at the ready as it is now. You could search on YouTube menopause weight gain and find the Healthy Hunnies series and say, oh, there is a solution to this. But for many women, there wasn't any solution because it was so hard to find that information that most people thought this is just the way that it's going to be.
Yeah.
So you try things like the shakes and the isogenics, and then we decide we're going to transition to a plant-based diet.
Right.
So I had gone plant-based and was really plant-based. I wasn't doing any of the processed stuff. You started that way, but then some things started to sneak back in.
Yeah.
What was that for you?
Not paying attention to ingredients, oils, nut butters, anything with hidden high fat oil content.
So that stuff started to sneak in. I went away to college, and so you were sort of doing that.
Yep.
And then I came back from college and I said, okay, we're really going to buckle down and do plant-based.
Right.
And that was about 6 years ago, where I was cooking everything for you, no oils.
Right.
And that went really well.
Right.
And you were feeling really good.
Yep.
But then I went back to college again.
Yeah.
So what happened when I went back to college? Was it just the stuff started to sneak in again?
Yeah, I think you become a little lax and think, oh, I got this. It's no big deal. So I'm not going to pay much attention. I can fry things in butter or slather butter on my toast.
Vegan butter.
Yeah,
but even still.
Right. And it starts to snowball.
And at that point, Dad was not plant-based.
Right.
So that probably contributed to the fact that you were just kind of going through the stage of change, the relapse stage of change of slipping back into old behaviors.
So I can always understand when people say, my husband is not, because it can be a little tricky in the beginning.
And then Dad went plant-based, which made it so much easier.
Right.
Because he was doing the cooking.
Right. Yeah, because he had retired. I was still working, so he took over cooking. And that really probably made it the biggest impact.
And for the people that, have watched the Healthy Mommy series and have seen all of her success, my dad going plant-based, that would have been the third iteration of you getting back into plant-based again.
At least.
So this has happened time and time again. Right. We're humans that go through this cycle, the stages of change. It's not you're one person one day and a new person the next.
No.
So at that point, I would say you had an A+ diet, but you were cheating because some other things were still sneaking back in.
Right.
So the majority of your diet was really strong, but still having some things here and there.
Yeah. There were clearly still some things that needed to go.
Yeah. And then I went to Australia, and that's when I was really worried about you because I was on the other side of the globe. There was no way that I could monitor this.
Imagine how worried I was about you.
And then you came and visited me, and you said, I've been doing really good. I'm doing very well.
I thought I was. Yeah.
If I could show you a picture. Actually, do you mind if I show you a picture? Because I found this, and And I said, wow, if I show this to her, she won't even believe it.
Yeah, that was when right before I left.
How different you look.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was eating a vegan burger.
Yeah, and that was the thing. You know, I can eat that. That's vegan.
Down in St. Kilda.
Yeah.
So then I got back from Australia, and that's when we said, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're doing the Healthy Mummy series. You're going through my program.
Right.
So that was the fourth iteration.
Yeah.
So it took 4 swings to really lock it in.
Right.
So I thought it was important to talk about this for the people that are very inspired by you, to understand that you've had your trials and tribulations, and everybody does. Everybody goes through the cycles of change.
Definitely.
And so now we're at the point where you're in maintenance, in maintenance for a pretty elongated period of time.
Yeah.
And maybe there will be some periods where you slip back into it. I don't really foresee that happening. I think you might be at the point now where you can, when you've been in maintenance for long enough, instead of having relapses, most of your focus is how to prevent relapses and identify triggers. And I think you're at that point now.
Okay.
So it used to be, for example, you're having company over. And what used to happen in these situations was, you know, how can I avoid all of the snacks? I remember you went to the Cape with the girls, and what you said was, I didn't have any of the snacks. Now you're at the point where Sue and John are coming over next weekend, and instead of you saying, how am I not going to have ice cream and dessert, you're saying, what can I serve them?
Right.
What good things can I do to keep this going?
Right.
So it's more so focused on the positive actions as opposed to dodging all of the bullets.
Right. And that's even an additional step, because this is the people who are coming over have never been here. So I really want it to be nice. And usually the people that come over have been here a million times. Not that they're not important, but so I want it to be good, because I had good meals in the past that I would pull out.
The shrimp dish.
The tenderloin.
The shrimp dish. It was so good.
So I want to have another one that makes it look like I'm not just throwing a plate of ziti at them, because I think that's all they'll eat.
You know how we were just talking about the foods that we used to eat? That's another thing is clients will say to me, it's so annoying that I'm still attracted to those foods. And if you can neutralize it and laugh about it like we do, you know, the shrimp dish was so good, and recognize that we could have those if we wanted to.
Right.
Nobody's stopping us.
Won't stop
Nobody. We don't live in a country where people say that you can't eat that food. We could if we wanted to.
Right.
We just choose not to.
Right.
We are in control, and you're going to choose to make something else. And you already had a little test run of it.
I did. I made it Friday night because I just wanted to make sure that it was good and it was great. Yeah.
What habits have you implemented on a weekly basis or a daily basis to keep this positive train going?
Right. You always, if you're still working, I really believe that you always need to be prepared and have meals to bring to work. That's key. And if you batch cook, then even on your days off, there's something in the fridge. Because for me, once there's nothing to eat, then I start to, get that feeling, that spiraling feeling. Yeah. Well, I'll just make myself a peanut butter and jelly.
We eat what's in front of us.
Yeah.
We eat what's in the house. And so if you can set up your environment, and this place where you guys live is the cleanest environment, because Dad eats this way and you eat this way.
Right. Rarely do we have something that's really bad.
There's nothing in the house that you could get into.
I don't want to call it really bad. It's just that we don't have it on a routine basis.
Do you have any difficulties that you'd like to discuss with me?
It's probably still the things I find in my path that I didn't put there. Someone will bring a big thing of Lindt chocolate balls at work and I have to walk by 15 times. Those kinds of things are from over someone's house, and there's nothing more to say, so you start picking at food. It's those things that are my weak point.
Is use the power of the pause to recollect in the moment, and you do meditation, so you're better at this than anybody, to take a moment of pause, breathe in and breathe out, and look at the food and understand, this is the second thing, that the food does not have legs that walks into your mouth. And sometimes it can feel like that, because oh my gosh, what's happening? But take a moment of pause to look at the food, neutralize it, and say, I'm going to walk by this, and when I walk by again, it's still going to be there. So I don't have to eat it all right this second. If it's a good idea right now, it's going to be a good idea 10 minutes from now. So I'm going to take a moment of pause. I'm going to let that sit there for a moment, and I'm going to come back around to it. And if I still want it, I can make the decision to put it in my mouth. But I'm in control. It does not walk into my body. And I'm going to take pause, remind myself it's an inanimate object, and if I want to put it in my body, I will. But I'm in control. Well, thank you, honeys, for watching, and now we're going to film a cooking video. All right.